I wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit. Just something really quick that's on my mind. I went into it on Discord a bit, so if you're part of the Discord, look at the updates channel. But I've had a couple of interactions with several commenters on YouTube. It's not limited to just one, but one in particular sort of tipped me over, if you will, and I began to sort of assess myself and sort of just think about things, you know? We do that. Old guys, we do that sometimes. We look back and we think on things. And one of the things I've been looking at is sort of my mentality or my relationship with backseat gaming. And I think when I first started out with it, it was pretty relaxed. And I actually think I've gotten a bit more sterner about it as I've been going forward. And it's not my intention to... Put it this way, I feel like the current way I handle it is not in my best interest. We'll go with that. My most political answer I can go. It's not within my best interest. I still have a zero spoiler policy. If we're in a story game and you're gonna spoil things, and you're gonna spoil things in the story, we're gonna throw down the hammer with the power of 1,000 suns. But there are plenty of people out there who have genuinely great intentions, right? They want to help. They want to throw advice that they think can help. And a lot of it is just in nature. I've said it lots of times in other comments, and I'm mostly addressing YouTube people. I'm gonna throw this on YouTube so people can kind of see it there too. Because most of this problem is actually on YouTube, not Twitch. But since I'm here, I have it in my head right now, and I'm live, I figured I might as well talk about it just for a little bit. Trying to figure out how to best assemble my words for this. I said it a lot of times in comments where I'm like, it's human nature, right? This is a human nature thing where you see someone who's struggling, or you see someone who's not necessarily doing things how you feel is the best way to do it, and you want to share how you do it, right? You want like to share your impact and your thoughts on it. And sometimes it improves the experience. Sometimes it helps gameplay, right? XCOM, like we've been doing today, good example of that. Abathur's had some good ideas. I don't listen to all of them. Sometimes he has good ideas, right? AP rounds. But sometimes it's to the point where the person commenting leaves me a book. Like they leave me like 1,000-word comment with like every tiny detail about what they want. And I start to read it, and then I just go, this isn't for me, and I don't even read the comment anymore. And a lot of that is because I don't want to know every single little detail and have it handed to me. I don't want to have things handed to me like that. It degrades the experience for me. It's the whole element of self-discovery, especially in something that I'm doing blind. It's so important to me to have that discovery, for me to go, oh, that's how it works, and to have that epiphany moment. It's just genuinely good fun for me to have that moment myself. But while I don't have control over what people say to me, I have absolutely control over how I react to what they say to me. And I feel like I've been a bit more strict with it than I should be. I feel like I've been a bit more, I'll go with cold. I've been a bit more cold to it than I should be. And I don't want to be that way. So I'm gonna relax on it a bit. I'm gonna try to grow, right? I'm gonna try to be, I want to experience it with you. The core of the matter is, the too long didn't read version is, I feel like we put videos on the internet because we want to share them with people, right? But when I started live streaming, I started doing more than just sharing things. I started to experience it with you, not just experience it and then share that with you, right? There's a very big difference between experiencing something and then sharing that experience with you, and then experiencing it with you, right? Very, very different things. And I've grown into this workflow, and I've sort of grown into this content policy that I do where I want to experience it with you. But just like government, right? Sometimes our policies don't change as social changes, right? As our world and as our culture and as our people develop further and further, the laws or the policies that we have don't necessarily keep up. And I think my rigidness on this matter of people trying to throw things at me and support, and you guys don't necessarily see it. There's individual commenters who are seeing this now. You know who you are. You don't see what other people are leaving. But I get, no exaggeration, maybe 40 to 50 new comments on my videos every single day. And I read every single one of them, at least up until the point where I begin to get a little agitated, because every single comment I start reading, when I start to play a new game, Anno is a good example of that. Anno has been very backseaty. Like, it's to the point where I'm like, I'm not sure I want to play this anymore. Like, I have more videos to put out for that game, and I'm gonna put them out because I've already recorded it, but it's to the point where I'm like, I'm not sure I want to play that anymore, because every video I put out, it's just like, here's how you should do it, 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 and it's spoiling everything. It's just like, oh my god, I'm so glad that I'm releasing videos like 5 or 6. I still have 5 or 6 I've already played. Like, I'm not like playing the next episode tomorrow after reading this comment, right? I'm so happy that this Let's Play is like recorded, because otherwise it might have ruined those videos. I already discovered all the things you guys are telling me. I just discover it later, right? But how I react to it, and I have chat flowing, and I will get to chat. I will get to your live chat. But I'm not looking at it, because if I start looking at that, I'll get distracted, and I don't want to get distracted just yet. But that's the too long didn't read version, and it's very long. So there needs to be a too long, that was too long as well, didn't read version. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on, I guess, in summary, being a better person about it and just being a bit more open about it. I want to be transparent. I want to be somebody that you can not be discouraged on commenting. I had somebody who very valuable member of community, right? In fact, she's the reason I had Anno in the first place, right? She's the reason I had access to that game in the first place. And she flat out told me, I've been resisting commenting on your videos because I don't want to offend you, or I don't want to like get you agitated. And I'm like, wait a minute, is that how it really is? Are people like not commenting because they're afraid I'm gonna like get upset about it? That's not who I want to be. That's not my intention. And I need to assess that. So I'm gonna work on that. Story spoilers, still 0 tolerance, and that's never gonna change. You don't spoil that shit for me. You don't. You do, you're just hidden forever. Don't do it. Banhammer down now, go. But trying to give me gameplay advice, it shouldn't be frowned upon. It shouldn't be. If we're really in this together, then I should be more open to that. So if anyone is discouraged about commenting regarding that, I'm sorry. It's not my intention. This is another thing that people don't necessarily understand as well. There's something else I think that needs to be said too, and that is that people who make videos on the internet, right? Us Let's Players, we're not pros at the game. Like, there's no prerequisite that says you have to be good at the game to play it, right? You just have to have fun. That's it. And you have to have a personality that allows other people to have fun with you, right? That's it. That's all it is. So we might be terrible at a game, but as long as we can find a way to make it entertaining, we're doing our job, right? Make it entertaining and you're doing your job. That's it. You don't have to be great. Very few people are great. And especially with me, I'm a media producer who plays video games. I'm not a gamer. Like, I'm a gamer in the sense that I like games, but gaming is not the primary thing I do every day, right? I have maybe, aside from streaming, I have no time for games. I don't play games off stream or play games without recording it, right? I have no time for that at all. If I'm not recording, I'm not playing games, right? And there's so many games being kicked out all the time. There will always be people, dozens, hundreds, thousands of people who are gonna understand a game better than I do when I play it. But that's not the point. The point isn't how well you understand it or how well I understand it. It's how well I can engage you with that content to get you to stick around. That's my job, engage you with the content to stick around. So I'm not gonna be good at a game, and I'm never gonna tell you that I am. I'm just gonna flat out tell you, most games I play, I'm not that good at them. I don't consider myself that good at them, and I don't have the time to practice them like most people do. So if you have advice, don't feel discouraged to share it. If it gets on my nerves, I'll try to work on me, right? I'll try to work on me and how I interpret it, how I react to it. And if it's still irritating, even though I'm working on it because your comment is just really long, like a really big book of all the things I'm doing wrong every single time, I'll just try to ignore you, which is a bad thing to say. It's very disrespectful in my opinion to just ignore someone that you... But at the end of the day, I gotta do what makes me have fun in this, right? I gotta have fun. That's how I keep going, is fun. So, yeah, exactly. Again, it's human nature, right? If you know something, everybody wants to be the expert. Everyone wants to share their expertise and prove their knowledge to someone else. And I'm not saying that that's the intention of anyone who backseats. I'm saying that that's the appeal to it, right? You want to be the guy that I can rely on for good information. And that's not needed. It's not that I don't... It's not like I want to say, don't do that. Don't say anything. Stop talking to me. I'm simply saying that I don't need it. I want your input, but I don't need it. I'm going to have fun without it. But I also would like to try to sort of change how I am to where I can have more fun with it as well. That's all I'm saying. It's nice to figure it out yourself. It's also how people share advice. If you tell someone this is the way to do it, and this is how I do it, it's not nice. Would you try this? Would this work? Would this work? It's a better phrase. Phrasing it in a question, you'd be amazed. And it's not just with me. And I'm socially aware of it too, but it still affects me the same way, even though I'm aware of how it's working. Like, if you phrase your advice as a question, it has a super big impact compared to telling me how to do it. Because when you phrase it as a question, in my head, it means, oh, this person doesn't know. Like, they're not trying to be an expert on this. They're not someone who necessarily knows the game really well, but they still want to help, and they're throwing out ideas. It makes me feel like you are experiencing it for the first time with me, and you have this idea that I haven't thought of. Maybe we should try this. That's a huge difference compared to you, stupid noob. Do what I want. Which I'm not saying anyone's comments necessarily are saying that, but when you type a book to me as a comment, certainly seems like I'm having a dissertation read to me here. Charlie isn't Skystorm, doesn't cheat up a game to play it perfectly with no losing ever. I have no evidence that Sky does such a thing. I am aware of some YouTubers. I'm not gonna say who they are because that's just super poor form professionally, but I know of 4 of them who play a game, record it, and if it doesn't go their way, they scrap the recording and they play it over again. They'll save scum it and you'll never know they did it. And it goes perfectly and everything goes swimmingly. You know? Mission success, right? I know that there are some that do that. And the rationale behind it makes sense to me from a creator standpoint, right? They have a reputation as being really good at something, and they have an audience that expects to see great gameplay and be entertained, and their rationale behind it is that they are an entertainer first, gamer second. And I would happen to say that I'm the same way. Entertainer first, gamer second. But I have this internal conflict with myself that if I do that, I stop having fun, and I always have to have fun. That's my one requirement. I have to have fun. So, but I do know of some that do that, and I don't necessarily fault them for it. I know that their community probably would if they knew, but at the end of the day, they're entertaining them, and that's what they signed up for. That's what they subscribed for, is entertainment, and in that case, they are successful. I will say that I have absolutely no evidence that Sky does that. But that's all I'll say.